My name is Lewis Bassman. For this Contemporary Issues in Sports presentation, I chose to present the issue that I wrote about on my youth sports reaction paper, and that is whether or not parents should be able to coach their own kids. I chose this topic because I think it's important to study the role of adults in youth sports, paralleled with the child's experience. Obviously, they go hand in hand. Parents have kids. Kids need a coach. Parent steps up to coach them. This is very common in the United States. That relationship is really important to study. Some of the stances that I encountered, some of the opposing arguments as to why parents shouldn't be allowed to coach their own kids include issues of favoritism. Favoritism, it's essentially favoring your son or daughter over the rest of the kids on the team. That's going to deteriorate the relationship among you and the kids on the team, you being the parent / coach. It creates isolation for your son or daughter towards everybody else on the team. Oftentimes, teammates refuse to trust your son or daughter because of gossip. They fear that it might land in the lap of the coach, and that will lead to further unfair treatment. Just an unnecessary stress on the relationship with the coach and the other members of the team. Another opposing argument I researched was the inability to separate parental and coach roles. Obviously, when you take your son or daughter to the game and you were the coach, you get competitive, but once the game's over and you take your son or daughter home and you're sitting at the dinner table, it's not a good idea to bring up the stats of the game or the score of the game or your child's performance. A 7 or 8 year old isn't interested in talking about that after the game. They're there to have fun. They're not there to see how many home runs they can hit or see how many base hits they can hit. That takes away from the fun of the game and the experience. Some of the supporting arguments that I came across were the coaching demand. People feel like they should let their parents coach their kids due to the high demand of coaches in Little League and in youth sports. Oftentimes, they call on volunteers to coach teams in Little Leagues and youth sports leagues, and not a lot of people are willing to volunteer their time to do that unless they've got a reason to, unless they've got stake in the team, like they have a son or daughter who plays on the team. So oftentimes, parent coaches, they're the ones who have to step up and coach the team just to provide the opportunity for the son or daughter and the rest of the people on the team. Another supporting argument was the time spent with the child. So parents should be able to coach their own son or daughter because it allows them to spend more time with their son or daughter. Obviously, at home you spend plenty of time with your son or daughter, but taking it one step further and getting involved in your son or daughter's activities, being with them on and off the field, that only strengthens the bond of the parent and child. So that was another supporting argument. I am pro parent coach because of the demand for coaches, especially in my experience growing up playing a lot of little league baseball. That eventually led to high school and college baseball. The opportunity that I got probably wouldn't have been available if my friends' dads didn't step up and volunteer their time to coach our teams. Like I said, there aren't a lot of non-parent coaches who are willing to volunteer their time to come to the fields and coach and fill that kind of leadership and role model position. But I am pro parent coach due to the demand of coaches. I think it's very important that somebody with a little bit of knowledge steps up and coaches that team, and if it's got to be the parent, then it's got to be the parent. I don't think that there's a problem with that. I think the most important part is the fact that the opportunity is there for the kids in the first place, and if nobody's willing to step up and coach the team, then that opportunity is not going to be available. So I'm pro parent coach. How does my information relate to the course textbook? Well, the course textbook focuses a lot on the issues within youth sports, and it also focuses on the adult's role in youth sports. I think this topic is great because it combines both of them. The book just kind of puts it into perspective. Excuse me. From a coaching perspective, from a parent's perspective, from a academic scholar's perspective, from a professional perspective. It ties into the book really well, actually, and it's an important issue in youth sports, and it's a symbiotic relationship. Parents have kids and kids have parents, so if a parent has a kid that plays in sports, then there's going to be a role more than likely for that adult as well. So that's an important relationship to study. How does this information help you grow and develop as a sport and recreation management professional? Moving forward, if I decide to participate in, my son or daughter's little league team or any recreational activities involving kids, this is obviously an issue that exists within the realm of youth sports. So this information just kind of gives me some knowledge and some tools that I can use moving forward. Things that I can look out for, things that I can help educate people on. It's I have no doubt that I'll experience, a children's camp or a little league baseball game or, something in the future, something that involves an adult's role in sport and, a youth experience as well. So this just provides an additional perspective and lets me think outside the box a little bit. That's going to do it for this presentation. Thank you very much.